Welcome to the channel about a healthy lifestyle.
Six-pack ABSR. Of course, an absolutely special thing. There's a cult around it. People strive for it. People brag about it, and people want to have it. This is probably the driving force that makes us go to the gym and do endless ABS curls. And what would happen to our body if we did ABS every day? What changes will occur? In fact, the changes will be very, very significant, because this exercise will affect not only the appearance of our abdomen but many other things too. So watch the clip to the end and we'll find out what will happen to your body if you exercise your ABS every day. The first and most obvious change is, of course, our athletic performance. In addition to the obvious improvement in the ABS, primarily the rectus abdominis muscle, we will also raise our results in the other exercises. This is not surprising, because if our ABS are trained and enduring, it means our body can concentrate more energy on the other muscles when they work. The ABS are involved in so many exercises. It's squatting, it's running, it's swimming, and so on. So better trained ABS will allow you to draw more resources to the target muscles when we're doing other exercises, and that's a very useful rear-end reserve. The next very nice addition to Pump 2 PAB is the reduced likelihood of back pain, because it's been proven that one of the very common causes of lumbar back pain is a lack of developed abdominal muscles. That is, in a lot of cases, people started to pump their ABS and it helped them get rid of their lower back pain. If you do your ABS regularly, you are going to really strengthen your diaphragm, because the ABS exercise trains both the diaphragm and intercostal muscles, and a strong and healthy diaphragm will help when you are learning breathing exercises. So in particular, diaphragmatic breathing is great for reducing stress levels and increasing endurance, because a strong diaphragm means deeper and better breathing, which means more oxygen, which means we can run longer, but not just run, swim, jump, bike, and work out at the gym, anything at all. The next point is particularly surprising, but very interesting nonetheless. Regular ABS exercise improves your cognitive abilities, which is to say, roughly speaking, it pumps up your brain. Of course, it's been proven that, in general, physical activity improves our brain. It gets more oxygen to the brain, neurotransmitter production is improved and our mood and learning ability is improved as well. Yes, this effect of exercise has been proven. We all know that very well. But there was one study where scientists were comparing the effects of different exercises on cognitive ability, and they got surprising results. It turned out that those people who scored the highest on ABS exercises had the best performance in their studies. Of course, it is too early to say that there is a direct correlation here, but nevertheless, it is a very interesting study that will add to our motivation to pump our rectus abdominal muscles. But there's a very serious question here, and how appropriate it is to pump your ABS every day. For example, the popular challenge is 100 lifts every day for 30 days. We don't pump our chest every day. We don't pump our back every day. What about the ABS? There are certain peculiarities. First of all, ABS are among the types of muscles that recover faster. The more massive muscles such as the quadriceps muscle require more rest, and the rectus abdominis muscle is very thin and not massive. Its recovery is faster. Plus a very important factor is the number of repetitions. If we do a small number of reps, for example, no more than 10 and this is our limit, then after that, it takes a few days to recover, and sometimes a week, but as a rule, in the case of the ABS, we have a lot of repetitions, much more than 10. It can be as many as 20 or 30. It's after 30 repetitions, We may not even tire the muscle, but only feel a burning sensation. That's a whole different story. It's one thing when we fatigued our power fibers, did 10 repetitions, and experienced complete failure. But it's another thing when we did 20-30 repetitions and experienced not so much muscle failure, but pain and burning. This means that the oxidation process has begun. The work is being done by increased oxidation in the mitochondria. After such a load, the muscles recover much faster than after strength training. That is why, if you are lifting 20 or more reps in each workout, you don't need to relax for several days or even a week. You will recover quicker. But if you are doing ABS with less than 20 reps and you feel that you don't have to lift up, and then I would not recommend doing it every day, at least every other day or every 2 days. As we can see, our body is very complex. There are no universal solutions and approaches. Everything is individual, and everything needs to be approached head-on. Therefore, if we want to set ourselves a challenge, every day to do ABS for a month and see what will change, I will not dissuade you. It's interesting, try it, but don't do it every day until you've given up. And since you're rocking your ABS every day, pick up those exercises and those weights that will allow you to do more than 20 repetitions and not get tired, because, otherwise, you might just doom yourself to overtraining. Another question that people very often ask, and a certain myth that people have, in order to have ABS on our bellies, we have to pump our ABS. Kind of logical, but it's not quite like that. First of all, our ABS are visible, those famous 6, and some people have 8 cubes. In fact, there are 8 of them, the so-called upper ABS of 6 cubes, and the lower, 2 more. So, first of all, in order for them to become visible, we must have a low-fat layer. This is the most important factor, and only factor number 2 is hypertrophy of the rectus abdominis muscle. So first of all, we need to lose weight in general, and second of all, we need to pump ABS to make our cubes visible. But, as you and I have already found out, we need to pump ABS not only for cubes but in general for the wellness of our bodies. Therefore, even if you have a high percentage of subcutaneous fat, it is still worthwhile to work out your ABS. It will be very useful. Is it possible to target fat reduction in the places we pump? Basically, our fat burns at the level of total metabolism, and the body itself will decide where it deposits more fat cells and where it deposits less, and where it will burn first and where it will burn second and third. So if we're pumping the belly more, we're not going to get more targeted fat burning specifically in the abdomen. We're pumping the legs more so that more fat burns in the legs. No, with muscles, yes, it works. The muscles that we pump are the ones that grow, but with fat, there is no such direct connection. We can't directly pump those places so that fat is directly burned there. Another very important recommendation: remember the intensity and increase the load. When we start rocking ABS, we of course take the most basic exercises, but when we can already do more than 20 reps on basic exercises, it's time to pick up something more intense. There are a huge number of ABS exercises both with weights and with your body that are more intense. These are not so suitable for beginners anymore, but suitable for advanced athletes, and that will help you really rock your ABS at higher levels. Not to do it 50 times, but to do, for example, 15-20. And after that really get tired, and that will lead to hypertrophy of the muscles to a greater extent. 15-20 reps, not 50-80. Friends, how do you work your ABS and what exercises do you prefer? Please share in the comments and tell us. It will be interesting. And now I highly recommend you to watch my other video, where I talk about what happens to your body if you do push-ups every day. Thank you for your likes, comments, and subscriptions. You will find a lot more useful information below the video. All the best to you.
I wish you health.